last game?
Really just locking in on our defense. We know the offense was going to come, but really just making sure that we were locked into the game plan and the scout against Colorado. And handling their physicality was a big key for that game, too.
And Leah, you've only been here a few weeks or a couple of weeks, but are you starting to get more comfortable? Are you starting to kind of understand what the team's doing, that kind of thing?
Yes, definitely. I think the past 2 weeks, I honestly did not expect to get in the game because I knew that I was new and I came in at such an awkward time. But just getting reps in practice and trying to go as hard as I can in those reps. So, yeah, but I feel way more comfortable than when I first got here. I was pretty nervous. So, yeah.
Aaliyah, Coach Collen has talked about how her system is a bit tougher to pick up for guards. Has it been hard? Like, what's been the most difficult part of it, and what more do you need to go do?
I feel like it can be tough, but from the moment I signed, I was watching film, watching their practices, and seeing how they like to get up and down and things like that. But it's pretty complicated for me on the defensive end because they do things a little bit differently. But with a little bit of film and some more practice, I think I'll be fine.
Jada, what's it like to play with her, and what do you think she'll add to the team as the season goes on?
I think she was a great pickup. She brings just intensity. She brings aggressiveness on offense and defense. And once she really picks up the system, I feel like that's a great backcourt again that we're going to have with me, Sarah, her, Yaya. Like all of our guards are super hard to guard, whether we're coming off the bench or starting the game. So it's a great impact that she brings to our team.
And then, Jada, obviously going to Arizona for a couple games, what do you want to see out of the team during this road trip?
Just resiliency. We're on the road for 2 games. It's going to be a long week, a tough week. So really just locking into our game plan, playing sound defense, handling the physicality, playing through calls, playing through no calls, just playing a sound game, playing our brand of basketball.
Aaliyah, adjusting to basketball is one thing, but what about off the court? Baylor, how's that going for you?
It's awesome. Everyone here is super nice and super welcoming, and it's a tough process anytime you transfer or you're meeting a new group of people. But I feel like my personality and my teammates' personality and the coaches, like we all fit. They've been nothing but amazing, helping me both on and off the floor. Spending time with me, even though I came in at a weird time. But I would say the people, the place, it's truly amazing.
How is that transfer process just differing from, the last times? Just coming here at a different time mid-season, is that an adjustment to make that you've had to do?
It's definitely an adjustment. Like I said, just new faces, learning a new system and things like that. But it's about what I bring and how I can help in any way possible. So that's really where I've been trying to put my focus and my energy. How can I help, even if it's on defense, offense, off the court? It doesn't matter. Just being patient, waiting my time, and also just trying to, get the flow into the system and learn my teammates and how to play with them. So.
What are you looking forward to most about being back and playing in Big 12 basketball again?
I would say playing with such good players. My teammates are, as you can see, they've done everything as far as winning. Y'all won that? Okay, yeah. As far as winning a Big 12 tournament, whatever it was, just being able to be out there on the floor with them, playing with people like Jada, playing with people like Sarah, and playing with people like Yaya. I feel like that experience for me will be really fun because everybody's so versatile and different. So I feel like that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Jada, after the Oklahoma State game, Coach Collen said Sarah responded pretty well in practice and had a good practice that next day. I guess overall, what does Sarah mean to this team, and how important is she to kind of keeping you all focused, I guess?
I feel like she's honestly like the heart of the team. She's been here the longest, so she knows what to expect. She's been on that national stage, that championship level, so she knows what to bring. And we know how to bounce back. She knew that was a rough game for all of us, so when she picks up the intensity, when our captains, our leaders pick up the intensity, the rest of the team picks it up as well. And Aaliyah coming into that, obviously it was challenging, but she knows how to bounce back too. She's a winner. She knows how to play basketball, and she's going to bounce back as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The road, Arizona, these couple games, I guess, how important is it to string a few good games together to start conference play?
Yeah, I think if you want to win a conference championship, you have to go on the road and win, and can't put yourself in a hole. So I think it's a good opportunity with 2 games on the road to really, and fortunately with no school, making it easier to be out there, stay out there, be road warriors. So Arizona coming off a win at UCF, a lot of confidence, always play in front of huge crowds. So, we're going to have to be really, really good to beat them at their place.
And then we talked to Aaliyah, now that you have a couple games, or she's been here for just a little bit, what more does she need to do to continue to get involved in this group and in your system?
Understand what we do, certainly impact the game. Not necessarily she doesn't have to score, but be in the right spot defensively. It's hard. It's hard to acclimate someone when you have the synergy of the players who've been playing, understanding what we do. It's the time of year where it's hard for me to allow players to play through multiple breakdowns. So it's about being solid. It's not about scoring. It's about being in the right spot defensively, She's an elite defensive player when she doesn't have to think. And I think that's a unique challenge when you're in a new program and trying to figure out where you're supposed to be. She's hard to screen. She's really good on the ball. Right now it's understanding our game planning, playing really, really hard. I think when she's out there, if she plays to not make a mistake, if she plays tentatively, she'll probably have more problems than if she just goes all out. And her mistakes are full speed, and I think that's what we need her to see I need to see is full speed mistakes, regardless of what it is, that it's not overthinking and, paralysis by analysis type situation, which is what I thought happened a little bit defensively in the CU game, like left Garzon wide open, out of position. We could have covered for her and didn't. But it's going to have to be full speed mistakes. But she's going to get there, She is definitely going to get there.
What did you see in terms of response from the team after the Oklahoma State loss?
Yeah, I thought we made a few defensive mistakes early, but I thought as the first quarter went along, we got better. I thought those first few possessions, we actually did a good job for 20 to 25 seconds, and then they made plays at the end or got offensive rebounds. I thought there were 2 points in the game that I thought our response was good. I thought early, just kind of dialing in what we wanted to do offensively, but also play to a miss, play to a rebound in the first half. And then I thought when they went on a run after we took the lead and they called a timeout, I thought the pressure, the physicality turned up, as many offensive rebounds as we gave up, which we have to be better. We scrammed really well out of those, and we didn't give up a lot of second chance points. We actually had more second chance points than they did, considering they had 15 or 16 offensive rebounds or whatever it was. I thought they just got more physical, and I thought we responded well to that. And kept playing and took the three-point line away from players that we were supposed to. And so I thought, we had some game slippage. We missed some getting off and getting hit by some screens. But I thought for the most part, we competed.
What specifically do you see from Arizona? And does it help a little bit in this kind of two-game swing that you're not in class?
Yes. I mean, the toughest part about not being in class is, quite frankly, not having our practice guys. I think that's the worst part. You'd rather Arizona. I've described them as for our fans, similar to Texas in their ball pressure, their tenacity defensively. They're defined by their defensive pressure, their full court press. You have to take care of the basketball against them. Their offense is fueled by their defense. And so that's the biggest thing for us. They play double big a lot of the time, so you got to keep them off the glass. But ultimately, they just really turn it up. They get a lot of steals. They turn steals into points. They frustrate you, taking away one pass away, and try to keep you from running your offense smoothly, with rhythm. So that's what they do. They really, really muck it up, make the game ugly, and play really, really hard.
Back to Aaliyah. Do you go into a game with a plan of minutes with her, or does the game sort of dictate that? Yeah,
she's still limited for us, honestly, by just the nature of load management and things like that. So she already is in that situation. I think, her minutes are dependent on, is she productive in the minutes she plays, and then do you go back to her? I feel really good about our 5 position in that, we can get certain type of minutes from Kyla. We can get certain type of minutes from Madison, very different, but can be both effective as a backup for Nettie. Certainly we know Yaya has been really, really good and solid and consistent for us off the bench. And so it's about, is it Wise, is it Aaliyah, in terms of getting more minutes? Because I think when you go on the road, We've got games at altitude. We have games with short turnarounds. We have to get one of those two to give us consistent minutes off the bench, if not both of them.
Nikki, the only game you guys have lost when Bugs gets a double-double is that Oregon game. How crucial is that, I guess, that she puts up those stats night in and night out, and just, I guess, her success on the floor?
Well, I think, she's our best offensive rebounder. So in a lot of those situations, it's getting us extra possessions. It's, Bella drives to the basket. I run a stagger screen play for her. She turns the corner. She misses a layup. Bugs gets the offensive rebound, lays it in, creates momentum. Those are momentum plays. And I think that's the big part about Bugs is she's a momentum player. She drives energy, and getting us extra possessions is a big way of doing that. She's certainly always going to go to the defensive glass. But we kind of need everybody to do that. But I think where it really stands out is when she creates extra possessions for us offensively, and you see not just the number of offensive rebounds she gets, but the number of fouls that she draws going to the boards, because it's probably the first thing at the top of the scouting report is keep her off the glass. So even in these last two games, she's absolutely been held, clamped, grabbed, on her way to the rim. And fortunately, she has gotten some of those calls because teams are trying to be physical with her. And the one thing about Bugs, she can get hit, knocked down, but she's coming the next time too. So she doesn't get bothered by someone being physical with her to start a game. She's going to keep coming.
To that point, 3 points haven't been falling the way that I'd imagine you would expect them to the last couple of games. How have you liked your team's ability to respond when those shots aren't falling?
Yeah, I think it's some of it's how the defense is playing. I certainly think we've missed some open ones, but we also didn't take a high volume of threes in the last game because that wasn't what it was available to us. I felt like we played to the paint. We played effectively to the paint. That was a team that may not have had our quickness, but had more length on the perimeter. So they do a good job of closing out and taking the 3-point line away. So you got to take what the defense gives you. I thought against Oklahoma State, we were kind of bad everywhere. So as much as I don't really, I want to see the ball go through the basket for Bella for sure. But I thought we made key threes and, made some big ones to create some separation. So to me, it's never going to be a number. It's not going to be we need to make 10, we need to make 5, we need to make 15, we need to shoot 20. It's we want to take what the defense gives us.
Coach, these next two games being in the same area, what are kind of the advantages of that, of not having to go far, to play your next game?
Yeah, we have some of these swing trips. And I think you looked at Colorado and they played TCU and us on, that type of turnaround. So I think it's advantageous to not be traveling back and forth different time zones and wear and tear on the body, especially when you don't miss class to do it. But I think it allows us to just, get out there, settle in. We're obviously not going super early, but I do feel grateful that even in the midst of the league being coast to coast now, we never have to change more than one time zone from home, which I think is helpful. But I think it just allows our bodies to get acclimated, and it doesn't look like it's going to be real warm when we're out there. So it's not like we're going to get a lot of desert heat.
You've talked a lot about how guards in your system take a while to get up to speed. Do you think Jada in her second year has reached another level of kind of understanding what you want from her?
I think it's game to game, but yes, I don't think there's any doubt she's made a ton of progress. One of the things that I've talked to her about before the Oklahoma State game, in our losses, she's led us in shots taken. And I think we're at our best, not when she's not looking to score and be aggressive, and there's a unique balance there, but it's also, when she's spraying the ball around. When we were struggling against Oklahoma State, I'm like, you don't have any assists and we're in the third quarter. Like, I need you to create and try to get your teammates involved and spray it around. So I think in this last game, we went pretty exclusively in the fourth quarter to middle ball screen because they were struggling to guard it, which, is we've done the same this season. But I think that, it's mixing. When is it hitting the riser? When is it attacking all the way to the rim? And I still felt like I'm over there telling her possession by possession a little bit. Like, hey, get to the rim on this one. You had it the last time. Hey, the jump shot's going to be there this time because you got to the rim the last time. So I still think there's a lot of guidance there, but I think when it comes to just her comfort in playing in drags and playing in step-ups in most of our offenses, she's come like leaps and bounds. I think still feeling the game, when she should be aggressive, when she should hit, Nettie, when, there are times when I think she should throw it to Nettie and she just swings it away from her. And there are times when I think she's got the shot and she's like, I got to get it to Nettie. So the one thing I love about Jada is she will do whatever I ask her. I just have to be careful what I ask her because, by gosh, she's going to do it, and it might not be the right play on the next possession. So continuing, we tell her all the time to trust her eyes. As much as I feel like I can read and help, she has to trust her eyes, what's in front of her in most situations.
Nikki, it seems like you're kind of knocking out the unfamiliar opponents in this 4-game stretch, the newcomers to the conference. How does that kind of factor into the preparation for these games? And is that a factor in these games, just kind of playing against teams you don't know anything about?
Yeah, I think, I don't think we ever don't feel like we know anything about. I think sometimes we have fewer play calls. Coaches are creatures of habit. So, there are a lot of times there are things as you play teams year over year that you're like, okay, Fenley's going to do this in these situations. You don't have that same feel all the time on the new opponents. But certainly I remember pretty well 2 years ago in December getting smacked up at American Airlines Arena by Arizona. So, we know system-wise it's a different roster than that roster. In fact, I'm not sure there's anyone even on the team now that was on that team for them. There is for us, though. And so, I think we understand style of play. I think until you are actually in it, it's easy to say it. We talk about physicality, we talk about certain things, and then the first time you get hit, you gotta respond. The first time you play in that environment, you've got to respond. But I think it's no game matters more than the next. It's the one right in front of us. So I think from that perspective, I don't know if there's an advantage or a disadvantage from playing against teams we're less familiar with. The reality is we're playing everybody once for the most part anymore with all the teams. So you pretty much got one shot to get it right, now. All right, thanks.